The chilliest stream if nothing goes wrong in the first 10 minutes. Alright. What the fuck are we doing? Where is he at now? Oh, he's back here again. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Let's go continue on with the story stuff. How about that?
Poor dark and putrid.
These guys got beef with me. Also, let me know if anything sounds weird or bad, as usual. I have to mess with my mic every time I stream. Why is this still playing the spooky music? Move! Vesemir, are you in here, sir? Jesus. Sounds fine?
Jennifer's
Nice,
in
good.
Vizima. Got a few friends there, so... Something wrong?
Look around. Trouble brewing.
My god, that guy's going hardcore. Who are they?
Who are they?
Patriots. Drinking their 7th round for Tamaria. Fist starting to itch.
Don't see any Nilfgaardians.
They'll find another foe. I'll buy some provisions for the journey. Then we'll go. Geralt, we should stay out of it. Just this once.
Whatever you say, Papa. I won't start beef if they don't start beef. How about that?
What happened to the lilies?
Took him down.
Took them down to hang a golden sun there now.
I cannot show Temerian colours. They'll come and burn the tavern down.
Damn.
Maybe it's true
It's
what they
hardcore.
say. You fond of the Imperials? You Nilfgaard's whore?
Damn.
I'll let that pass. I know grief eats at your heart.
You know shit. They hanged my sister, dragged her out the cloister like a dog. Said Nilfgaard's no place for superstition, that they don't fear the wrath of the gods. And you, do you fear it? If not for Annie, your child would have choked on its navel string.
Ooh.
You owe your son to
Let
my sister
go!
attending to the birth, and you don't fear the gods' wrath. You don't fear it, you cunt!
Okay, girl, chill. What did she do?
Leave me be!
Oh, here we go. The fight's starting. She started it.
Recognize this medallion. You know what it means.
I'm
Back
sorry,
off.
Vesemir. I don't know if I can keep my
all right?
promise.
They say witches steal young'uns. That's true. What the Emperor promised you freaks? Your own land? Like he did the elves once?
Get out, all of you.
We ain't going nowhere.
Oh my goodness
Neither
gracious.
are you.
They won't back down now.
I can see that.
Don't make me fight right here. Oh god! Oh, don't worry, I got taught how to dodge. Oh, I'm stuck on a chair. Geralt, you're a witcher, bro. I got stuck on a chair. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have started that fight. Like, what were you expecting?
It's all right. It's over.
Leave me be! Get away!
Girl, don't even be nice to her. She just smashed that lady's head onto the counter.
face. God save us!
Be gone, and don't ever come back.
Why could we not have just, like, knocked them out? Why did we have to kill them?
So much for not getting involved. Come on, let's go.
Vesemir, you started it. Somehow they were just
After
waiting
all,
for us, huh?
We didn't start it.
Huh? Is that Yen? Ooh la la. What are you doing here?
Excuses, excuses. You've not changed a bit.
She's looking awfully snatched.
How?
I'm looking
I
like a
received
fucking
report
Santa
about
Claus
a witcher who'd
knockoff.
appeared in White Orchard. I knew it was you. looking for me. I might have waited until you found me, but... well, you know me. Patience has never been my strong suit. It's... good to see you, Geralt. I'd even embrace you. Were you not covered in blood?
Sorry. Wasn't expecting to see you. To be honest, this isn't at all how I imagined we'd meet.
How did you imagine it?
You didn't imagine you'd have a Nilfgaardian escort. Don't get me wrong, Yennefer. I'm glad to see you. But I do think you owe us an explanation.
And I shall provide it. In Vizima. Ready your horses.
What's the rush?
Spent the last 6 months in the saddle. Haven't seen you for 2 years. Can't we take a moment
Sadly, we cannot. Someone awaits you, Geralt. Someone who doesn't like to be kept waiting.
Yeah, he's like, why can't we just have a quickie? Come on, Yen, a quickie behind the restaurant, please.
The white flame dancing on the graves of his foes.
Doubt I number among that group. Far as I remember, last time we saw each other, he wanted to kill me.
Well, now he wishes to make you an offer.
The kind one can't refuse.
I didn't, though I could have.
What did he offer
Must
you?
have been a damn good offer then. Not many things you'd give up your freedom for, and even fewer people.
Geralt sounds like he's
The
angry.
sooner we set off, the sooner you'll find out.
What about you?
I'm going in the opposite direction. I somehow doubt the Emperor's invitation mentioned me. Besides, I've got things to do at Kaer Morhen, remember?
Yeah, I remember. Thanks for your help, Vesemir. See you soon.
Alright, let's go, Yen.
How's your horse? Swift?
Can't complain. Why do you ask?
I'd like to be back behind some thick city walls as soon as possible.
She better not start dissing Roach. Hey! Let's go! Into the city where I will not spend the entire time playing Gwent, I promise. We're about to get attacked. Girl, stop looking at her ass, you pervert.
You know, I had a dream about you recently.
Knowing you, it was probably filthy.
Just the beginning. But then...
Geralt, chill. Oh my lord. What?
Rise now!
That man got snatched. Oh my lord, this is so loud. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yennefer, how'd
We
they...
shall talk of this tomorrow, all right? After the audience.
Scream in the woods. Just a single scream. Alright, I think I got to this city and that's when I stopped playing. Oh my god! Oh my god, where's his armpit hair? You able to shave? Oh my lord! He just spread out like that. What the fuck? Carol, close your legs. He was like crab squatting in the tub.
It must suffice.
He's just chilling. Just airing out his dick and balls, I guess.
Think Emir cares if I'm clean.
The gentleman will refer to His Imperial Majesty by his full title or not at all. The gentleman will be seated on the bergère.
The what now? That's what I'm saying.
That chair.
Oh my god, he's like all oiled up. I know he's not. It's just
shave the gentleman's sideburns to half an inch.
Geralt. Oh no, they're giving him a haircut. No, leave his luscious locks, please.
What's wrong with my beard? Always thought it added to my dignity.
It does. Yet it also detracts from your elegance. In Nilfgaard, we consider beards hard on the eyes. Especially beards infested with lice.
I didn't know your beard could get infested with lice.
Do your thing.
That's nasty.
Tilt your head back, please, and sit still.
No, I like his beard. Leave it, please. Oh.
And prepare to answer some questions.
General, I am not certain this is the appropriate time.
I can't think of a better time. Men turn honest when they feel a blade at their throat.
Bro got some eyeliner on.
Morvran Voris, commander of the Alba Division. Before they take you in to see the Emperor, Witcher, there's some information I need you to verify. It's a formality, but one that must be seen to.
Sure. Paperwork's gotta be
Oh
in
my
order.
god, look at that guy's neck!
So,
He looks like a
Geralt
lizard!
Of Rivia. Place of birth unknown. Parents unknown. Age unknown. All insignificant details. Let us proceed to more recent events. The siege of La Valette Castle. The fate of the defending commander, one Arian.
Who? Is this from another game? I don't know who the fuck that is, if I'm being honest. I spared his life, I guess.
We fought on opposing sides, true. Then we landed in the same dungeon. Arian escaped, set fire to the castle on his way out.
So that is how the blade started. Our reports suggested the dragon was responsible.
I figured. I'm just like, I don't know who the hell that
found
is.
shelter in charming Flotsam, and from there made your way to Vergen.
Geralt the liar.
Is
Okay. So either of these could be right, I guess. Doesn't really matter. You found shelter. Charming. Is this a woman? I took a
I
list.
got out of Flotsam with Vernon Roach, commander of the Blue Stripes, and
a murderer of non-humans. We know this gentleman well, Witcher. You forged
My bad.
interesting
I'm lying.
something tells me my most interesting is yet to come. Go on, next question, before my beard grows
Why are they
back in.
asking me questions and I have to move my mouth?
You again if it does. Very well. The infamous summit.
Oh, both
at
are men.
Loch
Damn.
You were there, and once again meddled in the affairs of the mighty.
The mighty had imprisoned Triss Marigold. Ought to know I care about her, and I tend to rescue those I care about.
And so you did, handing Radovid control of the Conclave and Council of Mages in the process.
Nilfgaard recently started a war, unprovoked. So do us both a favor and stop moralizing.
The gentleman must sit still. I'm almost done.
I'm afraid I might find that difficult. Because, from what I know, shortly afterwards you watched a defective megascope blow your friend
What
Sheila
the fuck's a
Tutsi
megascope?
to bits.
Girl, I don't have any knowledge of the other games. Shortly, I believe. Fuck, I don't know. Did she explode or not? She got what's coming to her, I guess. Sorry, girl.
An old acquaintance, more like. Not so close that I felt bad for her, but close enough that I knew she deserved it.
He believes he alone knows what is good and what is evil, and that this gives him the right to
Oh, okay.
dispense
I figure,
justice.
like, I figure
Your
that these
comrade
are, like,
Letho of
options,
Gullet
you know?
described you so. quite accurate, I'd say.
I was hoping
My
I could
comrade,
maybe like
your agent.
like call
National
back to the
interest
show or
calls on
something.
one
Maybe
to
they
forge
did something
difficult
about that,
alliances
but
at times.
no.
Alliances with witches included.
What happened to him? I didn't
An
kill him.
ongoing alliance. What's Letho up to?
I had hoped you would answer that question.
Ah.
Oh,
Letho's
that's
hiding from
pretty
you.
interesting,
Must
honestly.
have
I
a
like
good
that.
reason. Was there a shift in national interest that might have caused
There's
that?
something else that does that. I think
don't know where he
the new
is.
Life is Strange
Wouldn't
game
tell you
does
if I
that.
did anyway. Blade or no blade
Oh,
to my
okay.
throat.
I believe that is all. Your signature, please, affirming you stated the whole truth.
Are the
and
books
nothing
good?
but the truth of
Are the
plain
books like Game of
imprisonment
Thrones where they're
death.
not actually finished? Because I would hate to read and then it's just not
With
finished,
these
you know?
formalities seen to, I would ask the general to leave.
Oh,
the
that's
room.
interesting. Okay.
We shall be
Do,
choosing the
do the
gentleman's
books, is it like
An
Geralt's
important
origin?
matter, but one that does not require the general's assistance.
Ah, well, it worked out for them, right?
I might have given you some advice.
Must have made a lot of money off of
So
that.
long.
I hope they get like a good
Good
chunk
luck
of
with
royalties
your
at least.
audience.
May I put some clothes on now? I think my dick and
Feels
balls
more
are
like I'm
shriveled.
being ready
Let me
for
put
a
some clothes
wedding.
on,
Were that
please.
so, I would have prepared the gentleman a frock, a tailcoat, or possibly a dinner jacket. In
I
point
get
of
to
fact,
choose?
the gentleman will choose from these garments.
Bro, two of them are like basically the same. Where's my Witcher
Black,
fit at?
black, or black?
We do not like garish colors in Nilfgaard. The
Geralt,
gentleman
act
will
like you
tell
like
me
wearing
once he has
colors.
chosen an outfit.
Can I see the whole fit first before, because I know I'm gonna pick one of these and you're gonna put me in the stupidest fucking hat ever. Character entry. Okay, there, look, now we get some character entries. Oh my lord. Character. It's been a while since I looked at this. Browners. They're the same thing, right? She gets her own special one, I guess. Oh, I guess it's because girl felt sympathy for her. That's crazy. Some of these monsters are crazy. It was characters. Okay, now we get to see them here. I just hate, like, I hate starting. Oh my god, why am I crying? And me. I hate starting. Oh, I know what it is. I scratched my nose. Classic. You know, I just like, I hate when something sounds like it would be good, but it's not finished. Like, I'm one of those people where a lot of shows, I just hate watching them as they come out. Get out of here. Get out of here with your dandelion. I just like, you know, like, oh, I heard the Game of Thrones books are good, and I'd like to. Oh, do you clip that for me? Nice, thank you. I was gonna clip it later. I'd like to read them, but I hate the thought of getting to the last book and knowing that I'll never be able to finish them ever, you know? I know that they did like republishing, like, reruns. They did like a republish rerun of the books when the show came out with the stupid fucking show cover, which I hate. I would rather just get a regular cover, you know? Oh. That's always interesting. It's like Battle Royale. It's like originally like a Japanese book and they had to translate it, and it's a pretty good book, honestly. It's really hardcore, but like the movie and the shows are really good. Or the movie and the book, I should say. My bad. Shows inspired off of it. This guy's name reminds me of the thing from Game of Thrones. Was it Valar? You know what I'm talking about. The thing that Varia? Oh my lord, my brain. Arya says. Holy. Yes, that. Thank you. Look at this smug guy. 1929. What is it, like? Or sorry, 1229. I think I'm actually dyslexic. For real, for real. 1229, I think it's like 12. It was 1230 something at the start of the game. And then it skipped. No. It was like 12. Yeah. How old is this guy? Oh my god. That's an ugly ass outfit. I guess I gotta choose between these. I'll go with this one. Can I mix and match? Oh, I'll just wear them all. Put the clothes on, Geralt. Pants. Can I just straight up just keep wearing this? Look at that. There, you're dressed. 12. 72, huh? Dandelion must be old as fuck. Okay, do not loot anything. Whatever you do, do not loot anything. Quick save.
And they say clothes do not make the man. Does the outfit satisfy the gentleman?
Can I just take them all?
Rather try on.
Go ahead, we've time.
Thank you. I'm definitely not wearing that one in the middle. It's ugly. How about this one? Pants are the same. I don't like that shirt. And the boots are the same. Alright, let's go. Just the shirt, and the shirts are all
and they
ugly.
say clothes do not make the man. Does the out...
Yes, yes. Suppose so.
A studded doublet and a sword on my back. That's what would satisfy me. But tough. When in Nilfgaard.
Yes.
I miss his beard.
It's a saying. So what now? Powder my nose?
No need. The gentleman's complexion is light enough.
Stop roasting me, bro.
Is to stand before the ruler of the north.
I think I might just
south.
skip something.
I must confirm that he knows how to bow.
Confirm away.
Please watch.
I am not about to bow.
Leg extended, hand flat, head down, chin to chest. The gentleman will rehearse.
Oh lord. Oh no, I was not. Right leg forward, left. This way? Oh, I did it the wrong way.
Wrong.
I know.
Once more. Leg extended, hand flat, head down, chin to chest.
Left leg out, right arm, left out, right arm, left, right hand. This one.
Lacking fluidity and grace. But we've learned to expect less of Nordlings.
Just don't make me bow then, you asshole. Oh, and he walked into me? Oh, this man got beef.
The gentleman will address the Emperor only when asked to, and using the appropriate title.
Your arch magnificency.
I see the gentleman is in the mood for jests. I fear the Emperor might not share his disposition.
Guys, shut up, I can't hear him.
Spoken loudly, clearly, and with respect.
He is struggling up these stairs. Oh my lord. Wait, isn't this the guy from the thing? Yeah. Excuse me. You're gay. You're gay. Oh shit! I'll bow, even though I'm bad at it. Here you go, sir. You did it right. Don't judge me. I could have did nothing.
Your Imperial Majesty.
Arer ep the orde.
Welchen Namen? Wat kan favort?
Be gone. The main guy? Let me listen.
I thought you bowed before no man.
Didn't want to disappoint the Chamberlain. We're friends.
Oh my god, he's tall.
Take it you didn't summon me to reminisce about the good old days, so...
Silence.
Who are you?
My daughter Cirilla. She's returned. And she's in danger.
Oh my god, look at that
hunt
portrait!
pursues her.
Oh my god, it is
You will
Tywin.
find her and bring her to me.
You're right. Oh my god, this is Whiplash. That ugly, frumpy fucking portrait, and then Tywin. What is this shit? Oh my god, he's obsessed with his daughter just like Tywin. I want to say both.
Are you sure? Ciri left.
Oh, she probably fought. She probably threw a tantrum when they threw her in that dress. Probably put a corset on her and
I
everything.
think anyone can be wrong, even an emperor.
Oh, okay, that's what I figured. I just didn't want to miss
I have forgotten
anything.
how insolent you can be. I haven't the time to convince you,
No
nor the
gives.
desire, in fact. Yennefer will do
There's
that
skibidi toilets now in the
after
Fortnite shop?
audience.
That thing's terrifying. It's actually horrifying. It's actually like a horror like item. They should have saved that for Halloween. It's so scary looking.
How many men in your army?
Like
20,000?
gums are out.
30?
Ugh.
So why me?
Oh, the Fortnite
know
shop's
why.
gonna be set soon too. Look
Because
at
she
that.
trusts you.
Oh my
She
god,
trusts
look.
me. Yes. So tell me why you're looking for her.
He
How
looks
it's
so
about making up for
miserable.
all
Why
those
didn't the
lost
painter make her
years.
For
smile?
reasons of state, as
Welcome,
always.
bye. The painter could have
Enough of
painted a
this
smile
battle.
on her.
You will agree regardless, if for no other reason than because I shall pay you.
Yes,
More than
Tywin.
you customarily receive for a contract.
Whatever you want, sir.
Considerably more.
They gotta stop showing me that portrait. It's so funny. I'm only doing this for Ciri.
Save your
I love my
generosity for
daughter.
those whose homes your armies have raised. I'll do it for Ciri, not for your gold.
Your
Mm-hmm.
motives do not interest me.
And show me that
Only
portrait one more time.
results. Yennefer will tell you the rest. This audience is finished. Mererid!
God, he's
Take him
he
to
has
the
such a good
sorceress.
voice. Goodbye. I miss you. Can I take that portrait with me? Please. It's such a good portrait.
Follow me
I think
to
every
the
dad has
gentlemen,
his-
please. Please keep close.
Yeah, it's a
There are
dad
many
off.
honorable guests in the palace.
I think
The
every dad
gentlemen
has a picture of their kid looking really angry that they love. There's like a really funny one of Ariana that I know of. I don't know about me, but I know there's a few of Ariana. Oh, you. Every parent has that one picture of their kid when they're younger and their face is scrunched up and they look so mad. There's one with Ariana. She's like screaming. We're just talking about this guy has a portrait of his daughter and she looks miserable, and I was just saying that like every parent has like a picture of their kid just looking absolutely miserable or really mad that they love.
What? Do you know who you're talking to, soldier? I'm Herivard II, Prince of Elandan. Not only am I made to wait here
Who?
as some supplicant,
will have time for a
but
stroll
who for
later.
company?
Please
A
stay with
tinter.
me.
Oh, I'm coming. Sorry, I got
Master of the
ADHD.
Tanners Guild. As if it makes a
Damn
The scene is
difference.
for another
I
grand-
demand.
There's too many voices going on right now, sir. I can't concentrate. Take me to one of my girlfriends, please. Yo, she roasted me. Mods banned that girl. I can't help that I have a resting mean face. I always look angry. It is what it is. I'm just gonna reshape my eyebrows and then I'll be more approachable. It's
Once
fine.
the gentleman is done, he should see me to retrieve his possessions.
How about you just give me my possessions now? Oh my god, get me out of here. I can't concentrate. There's too many voices. Yeah.
Yes.
Then transcribe. The true authority in Novigrad is not the city council or the merchants guild.
I do have the
Church of
crease.
the eternal fire and the criminal.
The eyebrow
underworld.
crease.
At times it is difficult to tell the one from the other. They both display
Ooh,
similar
are
ruthlessness
they?
and cynicism that...
Please wait, Your Excellency. I'm falling behind.
You know what? I'll write the report myself. You'll need only...
What is that?
Draft in triplicate.
Little goo machine. No candles for you. Yen. Move!
A shame I
Yen!
have no time.
Geralt, that tunic. You look positively smashing.
Ugh, dying to take it off.
I'd consider that a proposition under different circumstances. One I might even take you up on.
Okay,
We've
Yen.
matters to attend to.
Stop flirting. Where's my daughter?
Now do you understand why I'm at Emir's court?
Mm-hmm. And seems we're in the same boat now. Ciri, she's really back? No chance he's mistaken?
Look, that's more or less what she looks like now. Or so our agents claim.
Oh, Ciri!
Our little witch has grown into a young lady.
Oh, I gotta check the Fortnite shop. Sorry, y'all. One sec. Let me check the Fortnite shop. One second. Bear with me. No, don't want to rate Chrome. Fortnite Battle Pass. Skibbity Toilet. Disgusting. Furry skin, Santa boots, Snoop Dogg. Alright, it's not that exciting. Look at the emo guy. Special offers. Emo guy. Emo man. Where are you, emo man? I'm sorry, I'm too distracted by ugly skibbity toilet in my shop right now. I don't see this emo man you're talking about. I see a furry. I see another furry. Oh, but Sanctum? Yeah. Yeah. Ugly. $17.99 bundle? It's probably, you know what? It's because I'm looking at the not Fortnite shop. 1 second. Fortnite shop. Fortnite shop. Show me the Fortnite shop. Oh, stop showing me skibbity toilet. Right at the front. I don't care about skibbity toilet. Emo man. Emo man. Oh lord. How many people do you think are simping for him? He's all grown up. You!
How about that? She's grown up.
It's been years since you trained together at Kaer Morhen. A great deal has changed.
The worst man you know with the voice just bought him.
I miss
Play with his
those
e-kitten.
compliments of yours. But let's focus
You wanna
on
go
Ciri,
duos today,
right?
baby? I got the new Fortnite skin.
Emir said the Wild Hunt's after
I'll
her.
hit the gritty with
I'd
you.
find that hard to believe before what happened yesterday. How did they track us down?
Because of me. You see, I've spent months searching for Ciri, using locating spells.
Yen thinks she's smarter than she is,
geomancy,
huh?
Anything, really. I knew the Wild Hunt might sense it, perhaps even find me, but I thought I'd tricked them.
Well, guess you were wrong.
I've sensed them on my trail, hunting me, for some time. If not for you and Emir's soldiers, they'd have gotten what they were after. I can't risk another encounter like that. It's time to put away the magic, turn to
Hit
more
the
traditional
what is it? The Ice Spice dance on them.
best tracker I know.
Be a baddie.
You must find
Work on
her,
him.
Geralt, before the Wild Hunt does.
Yeah, what does the Wild Hunt from?
Wild Hunt.
Oh my, what?
could one from
Does the
Ciri?
Wild Hunt want?
I've no clue, Geralt. Might have written them
Thank you,
to
Geralt.
ask,
You
but
said
I
it
don't
better
have
than
their
I could.
address. I know as much as you do. It must be about her blood.
Girl, get out. Mods,
As for
time
what
that
the
woman
Hunt
out.
wishes to do with that gift, I'd prefer not to think about it, really.
Fortnite car? Who's buying Fortnite cars? Where's she been?
So where's Ciri been seen exactly?
In 2 places, Velen and Novigrad. The trail in Velen is most promising. You should make that your first stop. Ask for a merchant named Hendrik at the inn at the crossroads. One of the Emperor's agents. He should get in touch with you.
That's it? No passwords? Secret handshakes?
None. Sorry to spoil your fun, your boyhood fantasies about the crafts of the trade. All we have in Novigrad are unconfirmed reports, rumors. But there you will have the help of our mutual acquaintance.
Yennefer should change her name to Yabifer. Oh my lord, lady.
Triss Merigold. Apparently she's got a cozy flat on the main square.
Sure she'll be delighted to see me. What about you? What will you do?
I shall sail for Skellige. There was a magic
Skellige?
explosion there recently, blew half a forest down. I believe this had something to do with Ciri. I'll be in Caer Trold. Join me there once you've learned something.
One thing before we go.
Why didn't you talk to me, lady?
Contact me?
You're literally magical. You could have sent me a raven.
I didn't want to spoil things. I'd heard you and Triss made a great couple.
Ooh.
I'd lost my memory.
Shit, he lost his memory?
That's your excuse.
Yennefer, you're petty.
Let's drop it, all right? It's not what you think, or it helped me understand how much I love you. I don't wish to hear it. Any of it.
Yen, come on. He lost his memory. Usually when people lose their memory, it means you can't remember people. She's so hateful. He can't help it. He literally didn't remember her. Come on, girl. If you wanted to, you should have showed up and said something. All right, get out of here, Yen. Let me go find my ex-girlfriend.
Guess this means we need to split up again. Not my preference, but I understand. Clock's ticking.
It is indeed. So why don't I teleport you to Velen, get you there at once?
Not gonna happen. I'll go on horseback as soon as I can get changed.
Have it your way?
I'm just like,
oh, and
Yen, there's no
you really
need.
look quite dashing in black velvet.
Think so? Maybe I can have some of my armor lined with it. Good luck, Yen.
Same to you. And if you wish to learn what's happened in the world while you and Vesemir roamed the wilderness, talk to Ambassador Varatra. That's him over there. And Geralt, I know it's wartime, but try not to be a hero, all right? Just check those leads and come back to me.
You're being awfully nice after being real mean to me. Smooches.
I shall be waiting.
One Piece! Come back in one piece! Da -da 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 -da. I don't have to hey. Alright, tell me some lore, bro.
Ambassador Varatra. Yennefer suggested I ask
What? Do you guys see? Wait, did you guys see that vase in the corner?
and so on.
Of course. The
It was
Empress,
rotating.
should keep no secrets from each other. If you will, let us approach the map.
What is this? Oh my, oh lord. Oh yeah, where's his eyebrows? What's the latest?
What's new
Tell
in
me some
Skellige?
more.
Nothing. The islanders pride themselves on that, don't they? Doing everything according to tradition, as their forefathers did. And
Yeah, he
like
does
their
not look good when he's
forefathers,
zoomed
they
out.
quarrel with each other, pillage, occasionally attack our transports. This is
Mhm.
cumbersome, but nothing more. Skellige has always been a footnote to history, and so it
I
shall
like your
remain.
neon green undershirt, bro.
Sound awfully confident. What if King Bran manages to unite the Jarls? Lead all the clans against your fleet?
King Bran is a feeble old man.
Mm-hmm.
From what I know, he barely remembers the names of his own vassals. Uniting all might prove difficult.
Got the Michael Myers hair too. It's all slicked back. Same color. What is that emote? That is one funky emote. about Novigrad?
News from Novigrad.
I knew I was gonna say that wrong. Geralt, you embarrassed me.
Yes. Although everyone knows this won't last.
Gotta get this off me now. Be gone, emote. Be gone. Oh lord. Oh, get it off. I can't read my chat. Here we go.
Radovid is in Oxenfurt.
It's like pronouncing a Genshin character's name and then someone immediately says it, but in the right way.
Both. And both require
it's so humbling.
And ships. Novigrad can provide these. Which is why the mood in the city is rather, well, on edge.
Okay, not to be dramatic, but I'm so thirsty right now. I need to go fill my water. Oh my god, I think I'm dehydrated. 1 second, I'll be back. 1 second. I'm not even gonna put it on BRB. I'm gonna be that quick. Yo, I'm hydrating. 1 second. Alright, now let me try to remember what toggle this is. There we go, we're good. I almost made myself bald. Okay, I'm hydrated.
Meaning?
How do men deal with fear? They seek reassurance and scapegoats. The Church of the Eternal Fire understands this perfectly, and so it promises to improve the lives of its flock by pointing out the guilty. Who started the war? Who profits from it?
Oh
Why,
my god,
obvious.
okay, I'm hydrating
Mages,
more,
elves,
guys.
dwarves, in a word,
I'm hydrating.
any and all deviants. I've been stationed in Novigrad for 13 years.
I'm
First as a
drowning.
consul, then as ambassador. I've seen a great
Nixel
deal
is now
of
drowning.
cruelty, cynicism, greed. But what is happening there now concerns me greatly.
What about Velen?
How do things look in Velen?
Ah! Velen. See,
bad
he
as
did it
ever.
again.
Perhaps worse.
Hmm.
This land never flowed with milk and honey, and now it flows with blood. Armies have swept through it several times, trampling fields, looting granaries, burning
Daddy's
villages.
home.
Famine grips the populace.
Mm-hmm. So how's
The funny
ruling
skin.
that earthly paradise
A
going
good
for
one.
you?
I like using it every once in a while with the
Well,
most
to be
girly pickaxe and girly
Our
back
forces are
bling.
spread thin as it is, and Velen is chiefly swampy forests that are difficult to control. We've had several patrols never return to their camps.
Did you see that Hatsune Miku's
We've
coming to
temporarily
Fortnite?
delegated authority
I
in
can't
this
not talk
region
about
to a
this.
certain
Yeah, you
Nordland,
should have bought yourself the car instead.
former
Getting him
low-ranking
Gojo.
officer in the Temerian army, one Philip Strenger, better known by his nom de guerre.
Yeah, that's how it is,
The
right?
Bloody
Like,
Baron.
same as shoes.
I advise you
Emotes are,
well.
emotes are cheaper
Avoid
than
him.
shoes. Surprisingly. How is the entire war going, brother? How is war?
How's the war going? I mean, apart from
Never
the fact
shoes,
that Nilfgaard's
that's what.
triumph is imminent.
Why shoes, though? Never
I assume this
shoes.
to be a private conversation. We've no witnesses, so let's dispense with the propaganda, even that shrouded in irony. Our offensive was going splendidly.
Hope the
until
Hatsune
winter came.
Miku skin's good and not like
Edern
an
was in
ugly
such
cell-shaded.
disarray
Well,
that they
like,
encountered
the
no
cell-shaded ones
resistance.
aren't too bad. They're doing better
We had
recently.
reached the Pontar
Like,
before the
Toga's
first
so good, but
Only a weakened Kedwin
if
remained,
they make Hatsune Miku
and
ugly, I
Radovid's
don't know what
Redania,
I'm gonna
which
do.
ignored the rest of the North's pleas for help. We thought they'd sue
Yeah,
for
the ones
peace,
you got. Yeah, I got
perhaps
those
even
ones.
submit to vassalization. We waited for spring.
I'm not paying more for shoes, for virtual
Radovid,
shoes, than an emote.
submit.
If I can spend, like, yeah,
Yes,
exactly,
a vain
refund.
hope, I agree. Radovid sent no peace envoys, nor did he advance on
You
our
can't even
position.
use them on some skins too.
Instead,
I think they
he
patched
trudged
most
over
of
the
them, but like,
snow-bound Kestrel
I know the
Mountains
arcane
and
ones, they weren't
attacked
working,
Kedwen,
and then they were
his
working, and then they
ally.
took it away again.
This attack took the Kedweni by surprise. They were still mourning the loss of their king. Rudderless and dejected, they laid down their arms after a few lost skirmishes and joined Radovid. And so
I'm so
by
excited for
spring,
Miku in Fortnite though.
instead of two
That just
weak
opens up
enemies,
like
we had only
just the
one
new season
powerful
being
one.
like like Japanese themes opens up so many possibilities. I'm so hyped. I hope they add 700 Miku songs. I'm gonna be the most annoying person ever on January 14th. Let me tell you that. I'm going to be so annoying. I'm going to be the person in the lobby spamming the Hatsune Miku songs, and there's nothing you can do about it. Miku! I love my Queen Miku. I will be the one in the lobby for 5 days straight, locking people into Hatsune Miku songs. Just know that. If I had to spend my time through the Metallica Battle Pass being locked into 40 minutes of Metallica, I'm going to trap people into 40 minutes of Hatsune Miku. See how they like that? What about this guy? What about this?
Kavir?
Yeah.
Kavir values its neutrality, enough not to lend its armies, or more importantly, even its coin to either side. Returning to the war, this spring there was a massive battle in the marshes of Velen. Massive, yet indecisive. Both sides suffered enormous.
We're just getting
losses.
closer to One Piece in Fortnite, I believe.
Radovid has retreated across the Pontar. He's safe for now, until reinforcements arrive from the south. Then Emperor Emir Var Emrys will deal with him once and for all.
If they did do skins for this season, you think they do like Wano, you know, like if they, not saying they're gonna do any soon, but like, this is the perfect season to do like Wano skins, honestly.
Go all in.
Thanks for your help.
Thanks for your help.
Think nothing of it. May the great sun light your path.
Oh, he's okay, sir. Bent over. All right, let's go. Oh, don't loot. I don't trust myself, guys. I have to save. I don't trust myself to not get snatched by a guard. I'm not touching anything in this castle. Oh!
How might I serve the gentleman?
Give me my stuff.
Things.
How do you sniff them?
Citrus and cloves.
Oh.
The fragrance will keep the gentleman's robes fresh somewhat longer.
Thanks, bunches.
It's bunches.
The Emperor is not known for his patience. He wants his daughter back safe and sound, as soon as possible.
Yeah, mentioned something of the sort. So long.
Yeah, I'm not. Like, give me back my clothes, sir. I'm gonna get messed up by the first thing I see if I don't put these back on. Give me that. Oh, I need some new gloves. I need some new gloves. Oh, I need some... There, we got the Santa fit. Oh, wait. My swords. That would be bad. Oh! That would be very, very bad. Steel? And that's steel, and that's steel, and that's silver, and that's also steel. Good enough. Excuse me. What? Wait, why are my Witcher senses just on? Hello? I think I broke the game. Oh, there we go. I didn't click anything. Yeah, like, that would be literally the worst thing ever if I know I would, I would be insta-dieted. Oh, hello, you got something to say? Can't. I can't. I can't. Oh, I lost the last one. I can't. I'll be back. I'll be back.
See you.
We'll beef next time. Oh, I'm gonna play it. We're going. We're playing around.
Hey.
Hello. Oh my god, I'm poor. Take 5. 5 is okay.
Wouldn't mind a few rounds of cards.
I think last time I tried playing, I spent all my money on cards. My stack. 1, 3. Northern Realms. Squeal. Squeal. X. Elf. 22 cards, 10 special cards, unit cards. So I should probably just stay with this one. Yeah, 20. There we go. You know what? I don't really have any deck to build, so we're just gonna go with that. Ah! Of course. Redraw card, huh? Let's get rid of... What the heck? Don't really... You know what? Let's just... What the hell did I just do? No, I didn't mean to redraw that. Okay, well, it's fine. No, don't forfeit. Don't forfeit. I don't want to redraw. Can I not redraw? Okay, escape. There we go. All right, this time I know how to play. Cynthia, I raise you with Hira. Okay, sir. Okay. This is for close combat. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Goodbye, sir. Hee hee. What? My turn. Let's go with someone in the back. How about it? Right there. Oh my, that's a chunky card. This one a back. Siege is back, right? Yeah. Oh no! Oopsies! I thought that was the back. I cannot see. It's okay. Okay. 4 and a 10. I think I pass and then we go. Maybe I can get into use more cards actually, you know? I'm gonna use this one value card just because, and then I'm gonna skip. Because he's gonna chunk me. Huh? Why did you... Oh, you're saving that. You're saving that 10 for next time, huh? Oh, you got me messed up. How many cards you got left? Ooh, wait, what's this one? Let me read it. Sunshine. Okay, okay. Let's start with you. Draw 2 cards. Oh, it counts towards... Okay, let's wait, and let's do you instead first. This makes me want to play Balatro. I think I'm saying that right now. Oh, you, huh? We'll do this. I'd like more cards. Okay. Oh! You got me messed up. I want to save them. I think I might just let him chunk me. He's using all his good cards. Okay. All or nothing. Oh, get out of here with that 10 cost. Oh, you got me messed up. my, how does this guy, who is this man? Yes. Get this guy out of here. You got me messed up all your 10 costs. What is up with that? I'm winning this, sir. You're giving me 5 gold. Oh no! Oh, oh, we lost. He got me. He got a 10 cost. Bro, I can't afford cards in this economy. I give up. You win. You and your 10 cost cards. Get out of here. I need a better deck. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna beat him. Oh, middle mouse button? I don't like that. Switch, press. I'm pressing. I'm pressing. Oh my god, please. I hate the middle mouse button so much. Press. Press. I'm pressing. Yes. Open cursor. We want to go to Ellen. Over here.
Geralt and Yennefer were reunited, but something even more important happened in Vizima. Geralt learned that Cirilla, his one-time ward, had returned from afar, and she was in danger. He was to find her at
Is that supposed to be Yen?
command and Yennefer's behest.
That's not Yen. Who was that? That was not Yen. That didn't even look like Yen. It did not look like Yen. Why was she a redhead? And she was pale. They whitewashed her. Oh no! Oh my god, his grippers are huge! They had some big feet. Why do I still have that thing on my... Did I forget to turn out a mission? That's just hanging on there. Wait, what? I'm not level 30, bro. Am I supposed to be here? Am I supposed to be here? Oh, okay, it's just explaining. I'll like, okay. Alright, yeah. Thank you guys. I'm aware I somehow have the DLC. Oh my goodness gracious. There's so much going on right now. Okay, one thing at a time. Okay. Oh, I have to check the notice board, huh? Sir, that is all the way back there. We're not going there. We're gonna go over here. Yeah, I was supposed to say, why did it take me all the way back there? That's fine. We'll get a new one. We'll track that. I love the big evil red skull over top. Like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't track the one that had to be level 30. Level 32, bruh. Let's get this one. Can I take this head off, Roach? Oh my god, it is messing me up.
Good ladies, they say. Merciful ladies. Where's all that faith coming from?
Okay, let me hop off, Roach. Sorry! I can't control him! Take that one. take that one. Yeah, okay, I'll get you some acorns, whatever. Don't do tasks, buy your drinks. I'm not selling you my alcoholic beverages. Oh, okay, I see. I just don't like seeing its tongue flopping around next to me is all. Hello! Oh, it's locked. My bad. Okay, Roach is just chilling there. Oh my lord. Oh, doggy. Hello. Just play with some rocks, I guess. I'll scare ya.
Fiddlesticks.
Everyone's just crying. Oh, don't worry, ma'am. I'll light this candle for you. Don't worry, I'm gonna save because I don't want to. I don't want to get people yelling at me. But I need loot so bad. I'm sorry, ma'am. Water. Water. I'm not gonna grab the pieces of broken trash, though. No. Okay. Locked. I could break that open, but I'm not going to. Oh, Roach. Well, you know what? Let's go explore over there. Teleporting horse?
Forces attacked.
Yep.
One from either side. Cavalry swooped in from the wood.
Yep. Let's go.
Infantry marched through the swamp.
Huh? Excuse me. What did you just say?
Faster.
And cut down every last one like the butchers they were. Poppies cover the meadow now.
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
Or perhaps they're king
What are they gonna do? Fight me?
drunk on blood from the soil.
Go.
I'm just stealing their water. Witchers get dehydrated too, right? Stealing their water, stealing their plants. Where's the plant? There it is. Ribbly. Yum. Oh, I'm hydrating. 1 second. Where's the other leaf? Roach. Oh, that witcher's taking me water. Yeah, I'm hydrating. What do you do if a big, strong man comes into your house, steals your water, and just walks away? What can you even do? He could just, like, force blast you. He could light you on fire. Thank you for taking my water. Oh, what is this? Fetch some dogs. Bandits! Run, Roach, run! No, you are! Yeah! I might be level 3, but I can still beat you! Wait, guys, wait! Let me get my signs out! Yeah! Shh. Let me light you on fire! This guy needs to put a shirt on. Get out of here! Oh lord! My bones! Okay. There's one. Oh! Geralt, you're supposed to- Oh!
Tell if you love the gods! Right, me lovers, to work!
I mean, the best thing he could probably do is just come in and take your water, you know? I'm not like stealing their family heirlooms. I'm just straight up going in, stealing their water and leaving. Well, there's those guys gone. Let me eat some dumplings. Gulp, gulp, gulp. Roach. Roach. Oh wait, Roach, you stay here. I don't- this looks bad. There's a little skull icon. I feel like that means something's gonna kill me down here. We're saving. And we're going for it. Oh, prepare your legs, girl. Ugh. What is that noise, sir? Geralt, squat. Okay, we messed up. We're gonna go down. Godspeed, everybody. Oh, right into the cave. You're ugly. Ah! There's 3 of them.
Now,
Ah! No. Nasty. Move, Geralt. Thank you for allowing that. Oh, they're naked and they're ganging up on me. No, Geralt, eat a duckling. No. Oh, Geralt. Get him, get him, get him. It's okay, I shouldn't have did that. But I'm still gonna go back and do it again. Maybe, no, they won't be my thing until after, right? No way, show it to me after I died. I like the Twitch thought you were saying something, a no word. I do not have, that's so funny. Thank God for mods in the chat. Oh, you get out of here. Okay, one at a time. We got him. There's one. Now. Does it show? Oh, ew. Bro, nasty. Oh, good. Neckers? What a strange creature. Oh, look at him. His legs are long, his arms. Ugh, he nasty. Let's say Pukus? 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 Who's naming these things? That's my question. Oh look, I got a mutagen. Yep. That one jumped at me. Oh, there's 4 of them. Oh Lord. Run, 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 eat a dumpling, run! I can't remember all the signs. I'm out of stamina! Oh, my sword's breaking. Everything's going wrong. Where's the yellow one? Yeah. Dodge.
What? Lost your nerve?
Oh my God! It went underground. Where'd it go? Girl, dumpling, dumpling, girl, dumpling, dumpling. Oh my God, girl, please, please, girl, I'm begging you. Please, you got it. I'm calm. Everything's fine. I'm calm. See, we survived that easy. Oh my God! 5 health. Please go away, please. Oh, the dumplings. The dumplings aren't doing enough. Where did he go? He's over there. There's 2 of them. I cannot do this. I gotta fix my sword, man. this. Oh, why does his hair go like that? Oh my god, Geralt, please heal faster. I'm begging you. Oh no. Uh-oh. Let's just drunk collect some plants, I guess. Yum 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 plants. I guess I'll just eat this piece of raw meat. One sec. This. Oh my god, Geralt, please! Why does he heal so slow, man? I literally cannot afford to feed Geralt right now. There's not even any, like, inns around, man! I guess I'm just gonna sit here and eat, like, 7 things of raw meat. So annoying. I can't, because if I go, you know what, whatever. Let's just keep going towards the green's right there, huh? Is it in the, it's straight up in the cave, isn't it? Oh my god, it's straight up in the cave, isn't it? Alright. You wait here, Rich. Armor. Okay. Alright, save, and here we go. Oh wait, what's that? Oh, I'm sussy. I don't like that music that just kicked in. Hey, yo! Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh my god, I should have made some bombs. 1 second, can I make bombs just straight up here? Books, crafting. Oh my god, look at all this stuff. Browsers. Harpy. Oh, look at this. Can I make... No. I need iron. 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 Make. 1. Craft. Oh, I can't craft items here. Okay. I get it. We'll come back. We'll come back to this. Roach, I need to go somewhere where there's actual stuff. Let's go... Oh, look, shopkeeper. Let's go over here.
Run, Roach.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't actually meditated yet, if I'm being honest, because... Yeah. Imagine actually doing everything. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, I just can't craft it yet, unfortunately. Alright, I'm up. I'm healed. But we gotta go this way,
Faster.
Roach. Back. Back. And go. Oh. Roach. You can do it. I believe in you. Oh, there's men down there. Roach, watch out. Watch out for rocks. Oh, I am surrounded. Down this way. We're good. We're good, Roach. Oh my god, I hear them. Oh my god, this is the worst thing I could have possibly done. Are you all evil? Can I just talk to you?
Blow yourself!
Hello. Oh! Come here, bandit! Ah! Leave him alone! Roach, get him! Oh, we're gonna have a horse off. Yep, 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 get him! Get him, Roach! Get him! Get him, Roach! Get him off! Oh, you know what? You're making me mad. I'm just gonna straight up... Oh, he ran me over! He's doing loops around me! Alright, you got me mad. Say goodbye to your horse. Oh, yeah. Oh, oh! Oh.
Pathetic.
I'm gonna get you. No horse for you! Yep. 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 Goodbye. Oh my god. The sound of all the horses running around is driving me crazy right now. Oh, he had chicken. Alright, I'm sorry. Ow! Excuse me. Where? We chill now, guys? We chill, horses? Oh my goodness. Wow.
They won't be as cocky once the Baron's men whip your arse.
I'm gonna beat them. I'll help you guys. I got you. Oh. Ooh.
What now, you piece of filth?
Yeah. Oh no. Geralt, move. Geralt, move. Geralt. Okay, we got it. We're good. We're good. Oh, you will. Of course you wait till I miss. You got me messed up. Oh, you got me messed up. I can do loops too. Oh, you bitch. Right in my back. I didn't save. Why are my eyes closed? When did I press the buttons? Oh my lord. You just ever anger smash your keyboard and press every single button on your keyboard? Because I think that's what just happened to me. I don't even know how that happened. Where am I? Okay, we're good. We're chilling. We're chilling. Let's just loot all this stuff first. I need to stop fighting things that are a higher level than me, but I just can't help it. I just want to beat them all. Still need to go towards this merchant though. There's so many people here. You know, oh, of course, they saw me. We're gonna do.
Don't let him catch his breath.
Oh. Nobody has a bow and arrow, right? Oh, you come here. As long as they don't catch up to me, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Igni. Igni. We're gonna burn them. Get them all in one spot. Come on, one at a time. One at a time. No, you come to me. You come to me. Oh, miss me with that shit. I'm on. I'm on. One at a time. Ow! Oh, I'm coming back for you, sir. You got me messed up.
Your ass is mine.
Get him, Geralt. Get out of here. No more sniping me. Get him while they're burning. Yeah, there we go, we got it. Go, 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 go. You got it, you got it, you got it. You're good, Geralt. Brett did not die. Yep. Okay, all right. Ow. We got it, one at a time, we got it. Oh my god, he just tried to chunk me. Whew. Whew, whew, whew. Yup. Go, go, go. Get him, Geralt. Get him, Geralt. Get him, Geralt. One more, one more, one more. Whew. Got him, you got him, got him, got him, got him. Oh. Ooh. Got him, get him. Oh, this guy's chunky. Stop blocking me. Just let me kill you. Oh. Oh, I'm looting all your stuff. Get out of here. Hello. Letter, huh? Oh my goodness. Color up your kisser somewhat? That is... Oh, okay, you gave me a... Oh, Yennefer already left! Don't make me go back there. You know what? I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. Because I will forget. Let me post it in my scrapbook. I will forget this. Oh, I need to remember this for later. Dun dun dun. Into my scrapbook it goes. Here we go. Hello, sir. I'm trying to unlock the cage. Give me a second. Open. Open. Open.
From your stall by the bridge across the Pontar. Got goods for the army mostly. But I'll make an exception for you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Now let's see. Steel. 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 Oh my lord, all these steel swords. Armor repair kit. Most of it's still okay. We'll leave that all there. Alright, there's that guy. No, app. Let's keep going this way. Roach! Yep. Sure, I got everything. Good enough. Let's go. This way. Wait.
Slow.
Yeah, we'll go that way, I guess. If I keep taking more missions, I will never stop. And I really need some food. Hello, sir. Excuse me. Back to this village. Ooh, that looks cozy over there. Or very evil, depending on if they're burning the houses or not. Santa? Oh, my bad. That's not.
Step away. Chaplain's praying, can't you see?
Do not cast him out, Roderick. All may draw from the well of the eternal fire's grace.
Hello?
What do you want?
Bro, you walk up to him.
Rejoice, for even a creature as depraved and base in nature as you can serve the glory of the eternal fire. Someone must see to the corpses on the battlefield. Necrophages defile those not already rotting in mass graves.
Yeah.
This is not right.
Roach is not happy in the background.
For the day.
A handsomely profitable one, I might add. I know your kind don't work for free.
I need money so bad. I'll take care of it.
This will count amongst your merits. The more good one works in life, the more hallowed things are. Yes.
Oh, look, my beard's growing back already. Hasn't it been like 2 seconds?
Dash generously and set alight, understood? I wish it to flare up to the sky, for the glory of the eternal fire and all that.
Yeah, whatever, as long as you give me my money.
Where'll I find you?
I shall be near the bridge to Novigrad.
Okay. Alright, bro, just give me my money. No, the Grad. Let's finish this one. I do want to go and see Triss though. But let's finish this one. Let's level up a little bit. Let me on.
Go.
Go. This way. What is that? Hey, ugly bald man. Oh, no, Roach, I'm just trying to look. Don't turn. Let's see. Oh, okay, I'm helping. Oh, Lord! Yup! Get him! Oh, missed him. You. Oh, okay. Alright. What's up, dude? John.
Bind me before the next ones come.
When they come, I'll tend to them. Meanwhile, let's you and me chat. Like to know who I'm untying.
You look so sad.
John Verdon. Served in the 10th Maribor Division.
Long way from your
Bald.
army.
My army
Oh my
don't
God.
exist no more.
What the?
Black
What?
one smashed it to bits. I scarpered off into the woods just for that.
How did that?
Join a group of refugees. Fucking
How did that
bursting
happen?
with patriotism.
Sad? Did it go because
As
it's
soon
so
as they learned I'd
sad?
abandoned Temeria in her hour of need, they
Did I
beat
hold
me
up my
down,
hands? What did I do? I
tied
don't
me
remember
up
how I
like a
triggered
turkey,
that.
Left me to the drowners.
I learn a new thing every day. I'll untie ya.
Fine, I'll help.
Oh, thanks. For a minute there, I was almost sure you'd leave me to die. I'd like to thank you somehow, but I've not a chip crown to me.
How about 3 chicken legs?
I'll take the loss.
Thanks, Witcher. May you prosper on the path.
1 cookie. Literally any food. All I have is raw meat. Okay, bye. Okay. I need chicken and to meditate, please. I need food. Broach. Oh, Broach. There's so many dogs! Oh, leave him alone. Oh! Oh, he's swampy! Why he's swampy? Ew! I got you, Roach. I got you. We're chilling. We're good. We're good. Chill. I'll protect you, my son. Let's go. You're good. You're good, Roach! There's nothing there. Oh, and a tantrum. It just makes me think of when we went to... I already forget the name of the restaurant, but you know the one where we just ate ribs and chicken. It just makes me think of that, like Geralt sitting there eating a big old chicken leg. I felt like I was in some medieval times.
Come on now.
Alright, chill here, Roach. I'm gonna kill these things. I need to get my experience up. Yep, yep. Oh, they're ganging up on me. Never mind. Roach, help. Oh, eat the meat, Geralt. Oh, Geralt, move. Geralt, no! Geralt! I couldn't move. Where did I save last? Where did I save last? I gotta change it so that the words don't just trigger emotes, because I'm just I'm just looking at that cat pointing at me in the chat right now. I don't know why it does that for my chat replay. Alright, get out of here. Skedaddle. I'm gonna meditate now. It's N to meditate. N for meditation. Aww. 6 p.m. Get up. He's just in the middle of the road. Roach? There's so much stuff around here. Oh my god. Oh. For the hamster.
That's it, Roach.
I don't know. That's some settings with my stream elements I gotta fix. Alright, let's kill these guys. Oh, okay, Axie's that one. Okay, I got it. I got it. This one's the force field one, right? Yeah! Okay. One at a time, guys. One at a time. One at a time. Ew, you nasty. One! Alright, this one.
Stench.
No. Oh, sorry, Roach! My bad! Oh, Geralt. There you go. Get him. Okay, one more. You got it, Geralt. I believe in you. Oh my god, he launched! Yeah, it's like in my stream elements chat for some reason. But in my actual chat, it's like it's one of the either the Franker TTV or the better TTV things. But I don't know why it just automatically does it in my chat. Just see the cat just pointing and laughing at me. I looted him. Why is he still glowing? Eat one raw meat and meditate again. This is what we're gonna be doing because I cannot afford food. Oh Lord! Oh, go away. Oh, I just want to go. Please leave me alone. Ew, you're so ugly. Yep. That one's so moldy looking. All right, let's get out of here before more dogs come for me. Go, Roach, go. This way. Go! He's coming! Roach, go! Oh my god, Roach! Fence. We're good. We're chilling. Bro, what is that person doing? Why are they running like that? Hello! Oh my god, look at that creature! She's going right in the house!
Hide her corpse beneath the floorboards. Those bastards won't have her.
Is this your house?
Be gone! This has naught to do with you.
Sorry.
Leave this place, sir.
I'm leaving, my bad. You left the door open, bruh. Like, straight up, you just left the door open. What? What's this? This. These have ears. Okay. That, oh, you just literally can't have cows, I see. Yep. Hello. Oh, let me read that. Okay. We'll do some of those later. I love how everyone's just poor. Hello.
Looking for a man. Goes by Hendrik.
What do you want with him?
Want to talk to him.
What about?
Give me a bottle of something strong.
That is a shot of something strong. That's not a bottle. That's not what I said, sir. I might be poor, but I'm not that poor.
You gotta go. I'll open the back way for you.
Why?
Got company. Who is it?
Innkeep. Vodka.
Whoa.
Who's this?
Brave warrior, looks like. Got 2 swords. See?
Nice mustache. Oops, sorry. Hit my desk.
Oi, great boy. What's the point of having 2 swords?
Wonder if he keeps an extra prick in his trousers too.
You fucking deaf.
You're so funny.
Gonna say who you are? Or do I need to loosen your tongue with me knife?
Guys, he's trying to finish his shot. Leave him alone. Here for a drink?
How about I buy everybody around?
Oh no! Oh no! My money! No, I don't! I don't!
Drink with strangers.
Geralt! Around won't be strangers anymore. Then we go our separate ways.
And which way might yours be?
It's not your concern, bruh. Chill.
Is it just me, or is that none of your fucking business?
That's not what I said, bro.
I must be hearing things.
You ain't. He meant to insult.
I'll have to kill him then.
Oh my, sir. Can you guys just chill? Alright, sorry guy. I hope I don't burn down your establishment. Why couldn't you guys just take the drink? I'm already poor, man.
Have you any idea what the Baron will do when he learns of this butchery? The village! He'll tear it apart.
I'm sorry, I messed up. I'm sorry.
Wandering mutant done it. An iron fist he's got.
I'll kill him for you.
You deaf? Understand what I'm saying? Baron won't let this stand.
Calm down. Your Baron's no idiot. Seriously doubt he'll think you locals cut his men down with farming implements. Now where's Hendrik?
Man lives in Heatherton.
Don't know where that is.
Other side of the hill. Looked that away this morning, saw a strange glow. Imperials on the raid, perhaps. But who knows?
What do you know about this man?
Anything else you can tell me about Hendrik?
Odd fellow. Arrived from who knows where and for no apparent reason. Shacked up with a widow whose husband was stabbed for a scrap of bread.
Baron's men don't like strangers.
Aye, he stays out of their way. Always seems to know
Yeah,
when
I
they're
legit
coming.
like cut some guys' arms off. They're just chilling in there.
Thanks, Innkeep.
Go out the
I hate when something gives you an option and you're like, it's like, say no, and you're like, oh, I want to say no, and then it's like, fuck you, you piece of shit, and it's like, what? I didn't say that. I didn't choose that. I didn't. Oh, they're gone. Man, you're quick. Probably the best innkeeper ever. You clean that stuff up quick. Maybe not the blood, but that guy had a chicken sandwich. You know what? Thank you for leaving that there. I appreciate it. What the fuck? Hey! I just want to buy food. Anybody else? I'm just trying to eat. Oh, grilled chicken sandwich. We're chilling. Never mind. Okay, can I buy food? Am I good now? Can I please talk to you? Geralt, stop taking shots. Oh my god. What is going on? Geralt, stop taking shots! Stop taking shots, Geralt! Talk to the man! Oh, I'm begging you! I'm gonna go behind the counter now. Move! Hello?
Greetings.
You do not need more to drink, Geralt.
Baron's not from around here, right?
He's Temerian.
Doesn't, like, alcohol do nothing to wizards?
Folks say he deserted along.
I don't know why you want to drink it. Tastes like Garbo.
Stragglers. They'd all had enough of the wandering. So they took the old lord's castle, and the Baron became master of Crow's Perch. Reckon once the Blackens feel sure they hold the land, they'll let him keep Crow's Perch. Give him a true title.
How do you get his name?
Bloody Baron. How do you get that moniker? There a story to it?
A time ago, when he was still in the army, some Blackens had holed up in a dye works. Baron and his men were ordered to take it. Others might have bided their time, starved them out.
Oh, so he pulled why can't I remember her name?
The Blackens surrendered. Baron and his men.
I literally hate her. Why can't I remember her name? It's on the tip of my tongue.
One of his blokes knocked over a vat of red dye. It all ran into the river. Folk took to saying
Cersei, that's what it is. He pulled a Cersei.
That the Baron had slaughtered his.
Just straight up killed people.
Been known as the Bloody Baron ever since.
Kind of ironic.
Well, a week before, he'd massacred a whole squadron in Ingholm.
Oh my god, the horses are freaking out in the background. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that.
The black
kind of.
Well.
Wouldn't mind.
Grilled chicken sandwich. Oh, you know what? I can actually afford this. Wait, that's mine. I sold him my sandwich. No! I did not realize that's my sandwich. 50 coins for this card? 50 coins for that card. Baked potato? Black pepper. Who's just eating a straight up pepper? Geralt, you got problems. This stuff's so expensive, man. Give me some baked apples. That's about all I can afford. Maybe a whole chicken? No, I can. That's all my money, sir. Please. Do you take garbage? Do you take junk, sir? Can I like select multiples or like, okay, I guess not. Junk. Take my junk. Yeah. Sure. Yep. Wait. Crafting components. We'll keep all those. Okay, now can I buy bread? So expensive. I guess I'll just buy straight up pepper. Sure, whatever can sustain you, Geralt. Farewell.
Thanks. Farewell.
All right, now am I gonna get attacked by just existing again?
That's dead.
Oh my lord! All right. Oh! What? He kicked me! I'm stuck! Oh! Whoa! Yep. Oh my god, my bones! Oh, okay, take it away from the horses! I'm gonna get kicked again! Oh lord! Move! Ooh. I do need to make some things, that's for sure. Oh my god, sir. They just came out swinging. I think I need to go to a crafting thing to make this though, right? It wouldn't let me make bombs. Maybe I can't make the potions just straight up. All right. Get out of here. Would you rather drink a disgusting potion or chicken sandwich? Eat chicken sandwich. Don't drink it. Chicken sandwich. Here's that. Okay, so the alchemy I can do wherever. But, this I cannot, huh? Ruby. There's so much stuff in this. Oh my goodness gracious. Ew, that's ugly. I need girl to be slaying. Oh, what? What did I do? What did I do? I can make some of these. I need to find a... I don't want to... You know what? Maybe I just fast travel. Oh, I was just like, what did I do wrong? Please! I like the hamster. Do 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 do. How do I... Oh, my bad. No, Geralt, look at the sign, Geralt. Geralt, look at the sign! Ole mole. Base. We started from over here, right? So surely, this place.
Geralt and Yennefer
I don't care.
but something even more important happened in Vizima. Geralt learned that Cirilla, his one-time ward, had returned from afar, and she was in danger. He was to find her.
Ugh, that sounds creepy.
And Yennefer's behest.
Alright, let's go. Of course it's raining. Wait, what is... There's something in this cage? Oh, it's just... That's weird. Oh, move! Quick save! Move. Sir? Hello?
Are you here?
No.
Morale holding up her?
Ah, a spy.
Neither.
Right. Well, incidentally.
Yes. Ew, what's that noise? Craft.
Like...
let's see. I can craft... I needed iron. And then I can make... 2 silver, huh? Silver. 2 silver. That's steel. I can't read. 2 silver. Craft. That's 1. Now if I could... Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Geralt, you got me messed up. You know how much money I got? $104! Whoa! Oh! What? That's crazy. What is this? Silver. Steel. Silver. I need to find 2 more of these. That's crazy. Look at that. Oh my God. How is that? That's a silver. So let's make a steel. That's pretty good. Down 0%. But I can, that's because I can put this things on the sword. I'm gonna craft this one. Or is that a bad decision? Chat, is that a bad decision? Steel sword, using fighting humans. And then I'll try to save. I want to get some silver for this one. This sword. I want to make the sword. Football. Fucking nerd. That's what I'm saying. I'm just gonna make it. And then next time I wanna, if I can find some more silver, I would love to make this one. It's crazy. Shop, what do you got? Show me what you got. Iron. Iron. Yeah, I can probably get rid of some of these, honestly. This is poo-poo pee-pee. Let's first, before I start selling stuff, see you.
So long.
Let's... And then... Steel, let's also steel. Would be... I'd love a better silver sword, but I keep getting steel swords! And I should probably sell some of these because my inventory is almost full.
Are you here?
Tell me what you got. Let's just get rid of these grays. I do not need all this stuff, and I need more inventory space. And then these, I do not care for these fancy pants. Goodbye. Goodbye, fancy shirts. I don't care. Okay, what you got? Longsword. Silver damage. Crafting. Good. Quest items. Don't worry about that. Food, potions. And then... Okay.
So long.
Pool of Viper. That's cool. It'll be nice when I find more like sets and stuff. I'm so ugly right now. Poor Geralt. And then these are the ones I can put my sword, right? Get up here. Runestone, chance to stun, adrenaline point, chance to freeze, sign, chance to cause burning. This one's armor piercing, chance to stun, adrenaline point. You know, I'm gonna put this one on. Oh, that was a weird sound. I did not like that. And okay, just have that lantern, casually, just a lantern. What is this? And this goes into your armor? I can put it in my boots. Hard, Igni, or I'm gonna do that. And then this is armor repair. Everything is still kind of okay. So we're gonna leave them. That's better. We have more space in our inventory. That man's just eating a whole slice of cheese. We got better sword. And can you like chillax? Let me go back to over here and oh my god. And notice board. I want to go. Actually, quests. Let's look at the quest. Velen, Novgorod, Velen. Yeah. Going over here, and then we'll do some of this stuff, and then we'll try to find Triss. So let's go signpost. Over here. That is a signpost, sir. That. Am I delusional right now? Hello? I'm at a signpost. I'm going to a signpost. Where did it go? What?
Witcher's contact in Velen was to be Hendrik,
What?
the Emperor's spy.
All right.
Hendrik was operating incognito in that war-ravaged land. His mission.
Oh,
to gather
spoilers!
intelligence about Ciri.
What the heck? Can you load? Zippy. Zip zip. Wow, this is the longest loading screen of my life. Alright, we're chilling here. I think... okay, it's saved. Cool. I'm gonna save. I think we're gonna call it here for tonight. Because I gotta work tomorrow. So, thank you everyone for stopping by. I appreciate it. And I will be back with more Witcher sometime next week, because I can't stream Saturday because I got family stuff and I gotta bake all Sunday. So sometime next week I will do a spontaneous stream, but I will put it in my schedule when I decide it, so don't worry, it'll be there. Maybe, perhaps, sometime, for sure next week sometime. Thank you everyone for coming, and I hope you have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Bye 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 bye.